everyone. I'm Neil Buethe, and welcome back to Studio 90. We are here in the set, and we're joined by U.S. Men's National Team head coach Bob Bradley. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
Now, Bob, you've been asked a million questions about being the head coach of U.S. Soccer, but we're not going to go there. We're going to go a little bit to your background. We're going to start off back in the 60s and 70s, you growing up in New Jersey. Now, I see you have some nice black shoes on, which is a little different than usual, because I read a quote from your mom, Mary, who said that as a kid, she couldn't get you and your brothers out of your sneakers.
Yes, we had a household where we were encouraged and supported by my parents. We lived across the street from the elementary school. There was a field, plenty of kids, basketball courts. So the opportunity to play all sports, find out what we liked, what we didn't like, was all there. My parents really gave us a great opportunity.
I read a number of places that after your final game in Princeton, which was in the NCAA tournament, the tears came, and was that because you knew it was your final game at Princeton, or was it more than that, knowing that you didn't know what you would do playing professionally, because chances were limited that you could play professionally in the U.S. after college?
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion at that point, and I think anyone who's played in college knows what that feeling is like. You've played your last game, and it makes you wonder what's coming next. From a soccer standpoint, the opportunities for American players at that time professionally were not great. My first year out, I tried my best to play everywhere I could, because I still felt as a player I was a late bloomer and that I was continuing to get better. Between reserve teams and some of the ASL teams, some of the New Jersey club teams, I still found a lot of games that year, but again, professionally the opportunities weren't great, and maybe in the end I wasn't good enough either, but nonetheless it was a time where I still felt that I was improving, and I was determined to play as much soccer as I could.
And one of those opportunities, you did try out for the New York Cosmos at one point?
Yeah, they had tryouts. They had a reserve team. It was possible at times to get over there, but again, they had a great team, and the NASL was starting to lose some steam, so I was not one that was good enough or fortunate enough to play for the Cosmos.
So when did coaching kind of creep into your mind?
I had a chance to go to Ohio University. They had a master's program in sports administration, and Timmy Murphy, who was a Mercer County player, actually a very, very good friend of Mooch's. Timmy was at Ohio and had coached the team, and I knew he was there, and I had played against him. And I contacted him about maybe being his assistant. Right. So I drove in my Volkswagen Rabbit all the way out to Ohio University for the interview for the sports administration program. And I stayed with Timmy, and he says to me when I arrived that, look, I have a chance to go and work for Spectacor. So when you talk to the athletic director, I think you can be the head coach. So anyway, obviously, it was not a big-time program because I was, I think, 22 at the time. But the chance to coach at that level, we had all sorts of international players. So it was an interesting collection, an Algerian, a Moroccan, I think a Lebanese center forward. Those experiences were great, and I had a chance to try things that I felt strongly about as a player and sort of learn on the job, and I really enjoyed that year at Ohio University.
And at 22 years old, I assume there might be a couple of players that are even older than you as head coach.
I think there were 4 or 5, and again, it was a good experience to take that group and find a way to train them every day, and we had a pretty good year, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, after Ohio University, you move on to be an assistant at Virginia, and then from there you get the job at Princeton, where you were there for 12 years, and then finally moved to MLS and with the national team at U.S. Soccer and things like that, things that many people know, the public knows all about. But what I'm thinking is, at one point, in your coaching career, where did you think, you know, someday maybe I'll be the head coach of the U.S. men's national team? When did you let that thought kind of creep in?
Yesterday. No, I think like a lot of people, the thought of coaching your national team is special, and I never focused on it. I've always enjoyed coaching at all the levels, and I enjoyed the challenges of working with each group. I've had such a good opportunity to work with good players on all levels. But again, as time went on, it was nice to know that I was at least considered as a candidate to coach the U.S. team, and I'm very, very excited for the opportunity now, and look forward to the work.
All right, well, now we're going to get into the Back Four quiz, which is the special part of our Studio 90 interview that we do here. Okay. So we've got 4 questions. Bob, are you ready for the Back Four quiz?
I've heard a lot about it, but
okay.
I'll do my best.
All right, no one's ever gotten 4 for 4, just so you remember that. All right, question number 1. As the head coach of Princeton, you had 1 Ivy League Player of the Year. Who was it, and what year?
That would be Jim Barlow.
That is correct.
And that would have been 1990.
That is correct. Jimmy Barlow, obviously, with the national teams here, the youth teams, U15 men's national team.
Yes, and Jimmy took over for me as the head coach at Princeton, yep. And has definitely raised the bar in terms of how things get done there.
I don't know about that, but all right. Question number 2. Now, we know your daughter is very into ballet. And you take a much of an interest in that as well, because she's a big ballet dancer. So I'm going to ask you a ballet question. There are 5 positions of the feet in ballet. Position 1, position 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, which position has the feet touching heel to heel in the shape of a very open V?
That's the first position.
That is correct. He knows his ballet, people. He knows his ballet. So you must go watch her all the time. And love that, huh?
I enjoyed watching Carrie dance a great deal, and that was a part of our lives that was so different that we enjoyed that.
Number 3, we also know you are a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. Now, I'm going to give you 4 Bruce Springsteen albums, and you have to tell me in what order they were released. All right?
Okay, this will be hard.
All right. Lucky Town, The Rising, Tunnel of Love, and Human Touch. And
one more time with these.
Lucky Town, The Rising, Tunnel of Love, and Human Touch.
So Tunnel of Love was first.
Correct.
Lucky Town and Human Touch came out at the same time.
Oh, he's gotten the trick question.
So I know that was a double release.
That came out.
And then The Rising was the last of those.
Woo! Pretty good. That's 3 for 3, folks. First person to get 4 for 4, possibly.
All right,
Head Coach Bob Bradley. Now this is an interesting question, and the final one. We talked to your wife, Lindsay, and your son, Michael, to get some background information for these questions, and they told us a story that kind of proves to us how dedicated you are to soccer. It seems it's the most famous family story, or the one at least most brought up, that someone brings up whenever they talk about how much you love soccer. Now, without any hints, can you tell us what story your wife might have told us?
I think I've been stumped.
If you need a hint, we can give it to you.
All right, I'm going to need a hint.
Let's say Mexico '86.
Yes, I do know this story now.
Can you let us all in on the story?
Yes, I can. So Lindsay and I were married June 14th, Flag Day, 1986. Our honeymoon was in Bermuda. It happened to be during the World Cup. And one of the great games in the World Cup was France and Brazil, a game that went into penalties. Mm-hmm. And the only way that I could watch the game was with the workers at the place we were staying. So my wife, who somehow has stuck with me for all of this, allowed me on our honeymoon to watch France-Brazil. It was a great game, and I guess that does speak volumes one way or another.
Definitely. That's the kind of wife you want to marry if she lets you do that. And you set a good precedent. If you can do it on the honeymoon, I mean.
I'm very lucky. Lindsay's put up with a lot.
Well, Bob, thank you very much for joining us for the studio part of Studio 90, and good luck in the future with the U.S. men's national team.
Good. Hope to be back on Studio 90.
Oh, you will soon.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Bob. Whew. All right, we finally made it to Soldier Field. Now the U.S. just has to win the Gold Cup so we can take the trophy back to Soccer House. And remember, everybody, the tournament kicks off on June 7th for the U.S. in L.A. against Guatemala, and you can catch the game right here on Fox Soccer Channel. And as always, we're going to put you out on a high. Here's your extra time.
The cool part about this side of the hotel is the balcony. We get to heckle at the golfers as they shoot. So we have a guy stepping up right now. I don't know if you can see him or not. So right when, like mid-swing, I'm going to yell. And then we got to hide. Okay, he's teeing up. He's ready to go. You ready to hide? We'll wait till mid-swing. Hey! Did he look over when he said it? No. Damn. That's just a little loud. HD disc, or no, HD DVD instead of Blu-ray. Oh yeah, here we go. That's it! Did you look? Did you look? Did he look?